to establish the cabinet is totally unconstitutional. Some of the considerations of giving people jobs because they are his former girlfriends, like he said about the Tuya. One place he said she was his former girlfriend, and therefore, how is that a qualification for a cabinet position? That's a total insult to the people of Kenya and the Republic of Kenya, and we cannot accept those kind of considerations to pollute the public space. We want people to be elected on the basis of competence, not past romantic relationships. So I am today calling on the people of Kenya, and I'm stating that my position is that that government the president is trying to establish and force down our throats is unconstitutional, even in terms of merit. If you go to Article 75, public authority vested in a state officer should be exercised in a manner that brings honor to an office. When you give a job to somebody on the basis of having been your former girlfriend and it's a public office, what honor are you bringing to that office? So I personally do not agree with that cabinet. And I think going forward, there are going to be consequential measures that will be taken. We hope that the National Assembly will reject the entire list and demand that the president sticks to his coalition side and nominates members from his coalition who are acceptable to the people of Kenya. He should not nominate people from other parties without enabling legal framework. That's an attempt to set up a government contrary to the Constitution, and which act is invalid, null and void. And the people of Kenya, just like the Gen Z have been doing, should arise and invoke their power under Article 1 of the Constitution as a sovereign people and see how we can govern this country directly without you going through representative institutions which have basically failed us and continue to fail us, and are even mocking us. Because if you look at one of the complaints about that the Gen Z had was against Murkomen. Now Murkomen is put in charge of the Gen Z. Honestly, what is going on in this country? Why should he insult us and then rub in the salt in our raw wounds? So I plead with my plea would be to the National Assembly to reject these people and to avoid taking this country in the direction the president wants to take it, where the Constitution does not matter, where lawlessness is the order of the day, and even the failure in Parliament, the incapacity of Parliament to deliver under a presidential system, the incapacity of Parliament to deliver has just been, should also be traced to that lack of respect for the Constitution, whereby MPs crossed the line and gave President Ruto a false majority in both houses. And that false majority is what he's trying to consolidate with the help of equally unprincipled political actors who are in politics purely for purposes of making money and not to serve the Republic, which actions I personally strongly condemn and I reject, and there are going to be consequential measures to be taken. And if that cabinet is established, some of us will be constrained to set up a shadow cabinet, because what will be happening now, we shall no longer be having a presidential system where you have got majority and minority sides checking the executive. We shall have a de facto parliamentary system where power emanates from the House, and therefore some of us must be constrained and will be constrained to set up a shadow cabinet that can then effectively check the excesses of this government, this mockerel that is been visited upon us, whose character we don't know, whose purpose we don't know. But as they say, If it walks like a duck, if it swims like a duck, if it quacks like a duck, then it's a duck. And given that litmus test or the smell test of reality, I'm left with no option but to say that this is a self-serving government that does not address at all the concerns that the Gen Z have been raising and have been driving them to the streets. In Kiswahili, we can say, I don't speak very good Kiswahili, but I've heard things like, kuruka makojo na kukanyaga mafi. This is what President Ruto has done for us, and I think it's not acceptable. That's my statement, and I thank you very much for giving me audience at very short notice.
Are you going to report to take legal action?
No, the legal action is being prepared, but we have to wait for the National Assembly to express itself before we can take an action. But we are in the process of preparing a petition to be able to challenge the constitutional validity of what has just happened.
Is Azimio dead on arrival?
I'm not a member of Azimio and I may not speak for it because I know that right now, as I'm talking to you, the Honorable Kalonzo Musyoka has summoned his members. I've seen senators who belong to Wiper trooping to meet their leader. And so it looks like Azimio may have been torn asunder. But for me, I'm not a member of Azimio, I'm not a member of Kenya Kwanza. I moved in with my own party. And it's within my party that I'm going to set up with like-minded Kenyans a shadow cabinet, because effectively we are now under a parliamentary system and not under a presidential system.
Last one. Kenyans are asking, does the president listen? Does he listen?
I don't know that. I think maybe not listening is you can listen and misunderstand. So I don't know that he listens, but I can't speak for him on that. I can only judge him on the actions he takes. And I think he has shown us the middle finger, because by putting Murkomen in charge of the Gen Z, the president has effectively shown us the middle finger that you can go to hell with your demands. And that's what is happening.